This conference will now be recorded.
So I welcome you. Thank you for coming. I also would like to welcome everybody that's joining us online. I'm very happy that we're having this meeting because it almost did not happen as we had no water in the building all day. So we were very close to canceling and having to reschedule this because, as you know, if restrooms and water are not available, we cannot be open. But Toho Water Authority came through at the very last minute, and we got water restored to the buildings. So here we are. So thank you. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is the Board of Directors meeting for October 9th, 2023. The time is 6:04 p.m. I am going to remind for those folks who are joining us online, if you could please mute yourself so that we don't have any feedback this evening. And also just a reminder that after the Board of Directors meeting this evening, which we're going to try to get through quickly, we do have the 2024 budget town hall. So that is happening as well this evening. So we're going to try and get through this agenda quickly so we can move on to the town hall. We're going to do the certification of quorum. We do have 4 board members present, so we do have a quorum at this time. And proof of notice, I can verify that notice for this meeting was posted 48 hours in advance in accordance to Florida Statute 720. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the past minutes. We are approving the minutes from the September 11th meeting, the September 14th closed meeting, the September 20th regular meeting, the September 26th closed meeting, the September 26th regular meeting, and the October 5th closed meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody opposed? Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the manager's report. That is from me. There we go. So this manager's report is reflecting on the month of September of 2023. As of the end of September, the association was owed a total of $130,000 from our delinquency report. That is $6,000 more than it was in the month of August. And please remember that over $75,000 of that is from Lennar. Over $75,000 is due from Lennar.
And one thing I did,
Yes.
We got an update from the attorney today, and she did say Lennar has asked for payoff amounts related to their delinquencies. So that is a move in the right direction. So fingers crossed that 70 will go to zero in the not too distant future.
In the very near future. During the month of September, we closed on 5 homes, and we had 31 resident inquiries come into our 24-hour customer care line. 5 of those were escalated to on-site management. We had 104 work orders submitted into our work order system, which is really great. It's less than half of the previous month. And we closed 225 work orders in the month of September. To date, we have 41 work orders that are open currently. To go over our violations report, we issued 87 violations in the month of September. 56 violations were closed. And to date, we have 73 violations that are opened. Our architectural review information, we had 2 meetings in the month of September, September 5th and September 19th. We saw 28 ARC applications. 21 of those were approved, 2 were conditionally approved, and 5 applications were denied. And then just some operational updates. Fans for the plaza patio have been researched by the facilities committee. They were ordered and will be delivered this coming Thursday. We also have an electrician scheduled to come and do the install of all of those fans. We did check, all of the electricity is working out there. I had the electricity repaired on the patio back in February. The 2022 financial audit is almost completed and should be submitted to the association by sometime next week. Once we do have that, it will be posted for the community for their viewing on the Connect Resident portal. Our HVAC preventative maintenance contract did begin in mid-September with Innovative Technical Solutions. They serviced 4 of the 7 units here in the plaza that were in like desperate need of repairs and TLC. We had a kickoff meeting, several kickoff meetings with 4Ts to get our new POS system up and running. The go live date is January 1st of 2024. So right now we're just going through submitting the data for the membership, like data dump for our membership, as well as going and choosing things for our website and what the front-facing website is going to look for our community. And we're just getting them all of that information with inventory and all of that as well. We've had several meetings over the past few weeks with the CDD as well as the Master Association. In the past several weeks, the CDD has deeded over several plots of land to the country club. So we are now responsible for maintaining those areas with our landscapers. We've also had a meeting between United and Floralon. United is our landscaper and Floralon is the landscaper for the Master Association and the CDD. We went over all of the maps, plots, areas of service, responsibilities, schedules, and all of that. So we're really happy that United and Floralon will be working together to make sure everyone is on the same schedule. I know for a while there was a bit of confusion on who was responsible for what, so then certain areas just were not getting done, but that is not going to happen moving forward. We had our annual fire sprinkler and fire extinguisher testing, which was completed for both here and for the plaza and for golf. And just as an FYI, I am going to be bidding out our pest control contract. We currently have pest control with Ecolab. We may continue with Ecolab, but it's time to start looking just to see if we can find another vendor. So we're going to be bidding that out. So we're going to find several vendors for that. And then lastly, I'd like to provide an update on the membership. So like I said, I'd like to provide an update regarding the membership issues in the community and the community documents and the definition of a family per our documents. The Board of Directors did seek legal counsel regarding this issue. The Board of Directors understands that there are situations where the documents provisions result in an outcome that is undesirable for the community, and they understand that they have the discretion under the governing documents to provide some interpretation as well as an option to provide additional memberships under rules they choose to adopt. We're currently preparing a draft document that will allow individuals who are not eligible members based on our documents to purchase additional memberships and use the recreational facilities. We are creating a fee structure for a variety of the different situations that we have faced in the several months. Additionally, once this is implemented, we will be looking at the membership as a whole, completing another audit, and we'll be addressing those current residents who fall outside of the policy. Nothing is going to happen until the board reviews and approves this policy for these rules, and I just wanted to let the community know that this is in the works and we should see something in the very near future regarding that. That concludes my manager's report. We are going to move on to our committee reports. We're going to start with our Architectural Review Committee. Do we have anybody here from ARC? Gary, are you here? Gary?
I'm online.
Hi, Gary.
Good evening. Hopefully the board has received the activity report for the committee for the third quarter of 2023. If you have and you have any questions about that report, I can hopefully provide answers. Otherwise, I have no specific report tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. The legal committee.
don't think we have anything further other than
No.
what we already talked
We
about.
didn't have, yeah, there was not a legal committee meeting for the month of September. Activities committee?
Megan?
Megan?
So we have, in our last meeting, we discussed moving, with the addition of darts and bingo being on Friday nights, alternating, we've decided to move the live music to Saturdays. Because we found that, when people were up there playing darts, there was a lot of entertainers that were entertaining themselves. So we've done a little switch with the calendar of the events. We have our trick or treat, trunk or treat coming up on October 28th, which we've moved to behind the plaza, the roundabout back here, just to provide more parking for those that are coming, and then have the golf carts in the back and do more of a party around the pool. Last year was really hot, and with the kids being in the costumes on that pavement, we just thought this might be a better fit, and doing it later at night would be a little bit better for the kids. We have our casino night on November 18th, so if anyone is interested in sponsorships, we do have those available. Nicole has, she has the list, and you can see her for in-kind sponsorships or sponsoring a table. We also have, I know this Saturday we have the breast cancer awareness walk, so if anyone's interested in that, it starts up here at 11. And then on December 1st, we have another fun bingo. So we have our holiday bingo to also raise money for the plaza enhancements.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question? With the breast cancer walk, are we donating or are we just walking? Are we
It's
donating to
just-
breast cancer awareness or
It's
mental
just a,
cancer center?
So-
Or it's just a
So
walk?
this one is a walk. There is a QR code on the flyer up front that you can scan, and you can post a photo of a loved one or someone that you would like to honor. And then we'll gather back here in the room over here for refreshments and lemonade.
So you're not collecting any donations?
No, this is our first one, so next year we're gonna do it a little bit different.
Thank you.
thank you.
Good job, Megan. And to add to that, pickleball, the junior beginner clinic is still on Tuesday. So if you have any, children or grandkids that are between 8 and 16, they meet at the pickleball courts at 6:30 every Tuesday. That time is going to change here at the end of the month because of the way daylight savings time is happening. But Matt and the pickleball committee is doing a fabulous job with that. You guys are amazing as always. The next activities committee meeting is on the 18th at 5 p.m. So.
Thank you, Terry. Communications committee.
So we've not met yet since the reorganization for board members, but I have reached out to committee members, Javier, et cetera. And one of our key priorities will be, in conjunction with Gene and others, working on the website with 4Ts. Obviously, that's going to be a new addition as we roll that out in January.
Thank you, Alan. Food and beverage committee.
Yeah, Larry's not here today, but he did want to put a couple things out. The new menus roll out tomorrow, starting here at the plaza and also the golf course on the 10th. They're getting a vegan menu completed right now. We have 4 people that are taste testing before we roll it out. And Chef Derek's over there. He's coming up. He's finalizing the menu and the recipes right now. So once we do that taste test and everybody approves, that menu will be rolled out with that. And then we are also working on a new light beer. So we have our CG Brew up there, and we're trying to work on a beer that's a little bit lighter for everybody. So gives you a couple more options to do within the community. So we're really excited about that. And their next meeting is going to be tomorrow. F&B meeting is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Thank you, Terry. Facilities committee. Do we have, I don't think we have Nicole online. She works.
At the facilities committee, like Stephanie was saying in the manager's report, the fans are on the way. They'll be installed as soon as they get here. The new heaters with covers were delivered last week. We had a meeting with United, Pat and I, and they brought back one of the original supervisors that was here in the beginning. when everything was really good. He got transferred out. They brought him back, and he has retaken over our neighborhood, so we should see a vast improvement. That's it for facility.
Okay, thank you. Covenants Committee, we have Terry.
Yes, we had a hearing on October the 4th. We had 5 new violations, 2 that had been tabled from a previous hearing. Of those 5, we decided not to fine because they had been completed, and 2 had not been completed, so fines were issued in accordance with what the board had recommended.
Okay, thank you very much. Golf Committee, Darren here.
All right, in the interest of time, I'll try to make this short. So we did come out with a new pass holder agreement for 2024, and getting lots of questions so far. So I'm planning on having a Q&A meeting this next week with the current pass holders to answer any of their questions or concerns. And then we would also like to, we've talked about the trail fee program, a revised proposal for the trail fee program. We talked about it before, but we'd like to bring it before the board for an official consideration and vote. And while we have come before and had a previously board-approved homeowner trail fee program, which was essentially the same as before, with 5 different options for a 5% increase, we are proposing before the board that we switch to a revenue-neutral program, which will be much better going forward, and it's a single annual option. It makes a trail fee for an individual, not for a cart, okay? So every individual that wants to use a cart, one of their own personal carts, just like a trail fee now, on the golf course would pay $1,750. That's a decrease over the current single annual trail fee. When you consider families, it can be, when you multiply it times 2, it can be somewhat of an increase. Certainly you've got 6-month trail fee option to consider too. The reason we're proposing this, and we have gone over this with our pro Tom, there he is back there, and he is in favor of this from a management standpoint. We currently have a number of offerings that are difficult to manage, and there's more and more that have been presented in golf committee meetings by some of the residents, like those that work, wanting after 5 p.m., wanting weekends and all these kinds of things. We were sitting in committee and we were talking about having to come up with multiple different colored stickers other than just the one we have now that would have to go on multiple carts. So we thought this would be a better option. This does remove the 6-month option, and that's a big deal for some people, for our 6-month people. We currently have about 17 people that are on a half-year, or 3 individuals and 17 families that are on a half-year option. So it does affect them a little bit. And but in looking at this, and we've had much discussion about this in the golf committee, everything else here is on a full-time equivalent. Okay, we don't have any other amenities where you pay as a seasonal. At the Plaza is full year, Oasis is full year. You know, everything is full year. So this is the only one. Removing the 6-month option also removes opportunities to what we call, for lack of a better term, gaming the system. We have instances, and we've shown it in committee and talked about them, where it's never 6 months straight. It's seasonal residents. Some of them do stay for longer than 6 months, and they use their cart for longer than 6 months. Some of them are sporadic. They come down in the summer, golf for a couple weeks, check on their home, and go back. We have all these instances of the possibility that some of these folks maybe should be on annual and they're not. So, and lastly, when we look forward at this proposal, it's a much easier proposal to manage. It's one and done. Everybody's the same. Every individual is exactly the same. There's no differences. It can be managed from year to year going forward with an inflationary increase. It's simple, it's easy, and easy to manage. So, and as I said, it's revenue neutral. The current 2024, I think, planned budget has used our previous example of $388,000. This would propose if we convert everybody that is currently a family, so we just assume 2 people to a family for a cart fee, and all the singles, it comes out to $398,000. So it's essentially the same thing.
Thank you very much. Do you mind if we vote on this when it's on the agenda at the end?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we okay with that?
However you want to do it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. And if anybody has any questions on it, we can go over that when the item is up for discussion at the end, okay? Thank you. Village Subcommittee, Karen, anything?
Well, we at the last meeting, we sent an email to you. We want to become our own committee. We don't want to be a subcommittee. We'd like to be our own committee, and we filled out some paperwork and forwarded it to you.
Yep.
We have set up a repair reserve fund for 2024 for the villa owners. It come out to $250 villa homeowner, total $23,000 in the fund. If we have any roof repairs, we're going to take it out of that fund, and then that will be replenished if need be. And currently, right now, the villas are having an issue with the reclaimed water in Toho with the sprinklers.
Yes, so I'm coming out with United tomorrow.
But, you know, somebody had brought up an issue, and I don't know the answer to it.
Mm-hmm.
The grass that's between the sidewalk and the curb,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that for the community?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the meter for that?
So the villas
But
do.
isn't that, doesn't our property
Well-
end at the sidewalk? We need, in other words, we need to know that question for sure. And I guess we'd like to know how many sprinkler heads are in our community. Like,
Okay.
we walked around to see what meters govern what areas, how many villas in each, there's 3 meters.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you know, we have astronomical bills that fluctuate for reclaimed water for us, anywhere from $1,800 to $400.
Mhm.
And if these meters are going off at the same time for each, meaning that Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, I think the bill should be the same. All 3 meters should be.
Well, it depends on how many sprinklers are attached
Well,
to each
that's what
zone,
we need
right?
to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that. We need to know that information. Because I think we're paying a lot of money for the little bit of grass that we have.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I need to know about the grass that covers the sidewalk and the curb. Is that the community? And if we're being charged, we need to get refunded. I need to know that.
Okay. All right.
So that's. Good.
Yes, go ahead.
Homeowners now paying for that
Correct.
piece of grass.
Yes.
Exactly.
I
Correct.
just had the whole test done with United, we did through Bainbridge.
Yeah.
The homeowners paid for that.
That's correct.
Grass in front of
So the grass is actually, it's not a gray area, but it's a little confusing. Like, it doesn't make sense how it's set up because that grass is actually HOA common area, but the responsibility of irrigating it is the homeowner's responsibility.
It's an easement is what it is, but the homeowner or the villa, they're responsible for keeping up
Yeah.
that patch of grass between the sidewalk and the street.
Yeah. So that would fall on
Pretty
the
much
villa.
the same any city.
Is something written about that, or is there some documentation that I could see, that we could see?
Maybe that's not the whole.
You know, what you're saying is true. I thought our property ends at the sidewalk.
We can find where it is in the document.
There's a white paper.
Yes, and the sidewalk,
Yes.
that much I know.
Right. It's how Lennar structured all the irrigation, right? Because to whoever's point, Nancy's point, like I pay for the irrigation for all the sprinkler heads. That includes that property between the road and the sidewalk. So that's on my meter. That's on my meter. Everybody in the community pays for that. Now, Bit of Lennar set up like one long irrigation thing that was centralized, probably cost prohibitive. So they basically said, here's how we're structuring it, and it's going to be borne by every owner or collectively by the villas.
Okay, I get, part of that, I understand that, I kind of get that, so that's right in front of your house. What about all that sidewalk that goes all the way around? That's what they have, all of it. And that's not in front of our houses, that's along the side.
But all of the villa irrigation is already split amongst all the homeowners.
I know that.
So,
But I mean, along the sides, that's not in front of our house like the houses are. I mean, I know there are some houses that also have a side,
Have a corner lot.
because they have a corner lot.
Yeah.
It's different for us.
Yes, I have the same thing. I have a corner lot, so I pay for everything that goes around. It's the same thing for the homeowner.
Who knows how many sprinkler heads are in each section of the village?
United, and I actually already asked them to get that information, like,
Can we see like a
yeah, I don't have that information yet, but as soon as I get it, I'll provide it.
And I need to know the schedule. I need
Yep.
to know which, because we had a homeowner, villa, who witnessed the sprinkler going off for an hour the other day, Friday night.
Okay, we're gonna, we're coming out, I'm going out tomorrow to visit you at noon tomorrow with United, so we'll go over all of that, okay?
But this doesn't address the problem with
Right.
the fluctuation,
Yeah.
which we went over last year, and we still don't have any answer.
Correct.
Could it be because of the rain gauge controlling when the water was up, so we had a really heavy rainy month? You have a little-
I have to check if there's rain gauges there, I don't know. I don't think there are, so.
Something that I was
That's a rain gauge, yeah. There are no rain gauges.
Should we have them? Because our bills are astronomical, and it doesn't make sense.
It's just the fluctuation that.
Right.
That
Maybe
concerns
we
me
can
a lot.
discuss this.
Okay, let's address it tomorrow when I come out, okay? Because I don't have an answer right now.
Because we didn't get an answer last year,
See,
so we'd like
that's
to
the
one this year.
problem. And they told us, Vasily said, oh, it's on a battery operated.
Right.
So.
Now that's fixed.
Right, so that's fixed, and we still have astronomical bills that fluctuate from 1,800 one month to 1,000 another
Yeah.
month to 400.
We could have addressed this earlier, but we just got the bills.
Right.
Just ask for them.
Well, we had.
Can that be a procedure that every month that those bills come?
Yes, but can we take this offline? I mean,
Somebody
can we?
needs to monitor.
Yes, I'm gonna visit you tomorrow at noon with United. And I do.
Answers, and I'm just getting a
Yep.
little frustrated that it's been over a year.
Okay, understood,
Okay,
understood.
thank you.
The
Okay,
other thing that comes into it is the end units have twice as much land as
The what?
middle units.
Yeah, units versus middle units.
They have twice as much land as the interior units.
Yep, and I looked at
so yeah, Alan and I did look into that in our documents. Go ahead.
So unfortunately, the declaration says whenever you establish a service area, it's divided equally. It doesn't give any.
Alan, I have a question.
Sure.
Is it possible that each villa owner could be responsible for their own sprinklers, watering their own lawn like a homeowner?
Not unless you want to pay probably 10,000 a unit to dig up all those property and to rerun the lines and put in individual meters. So if the villa vote to do that, you can request out of the board to basically redo all your irrigation, but my guess is it would be cost.
So that, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yes. I mean, because even if I look at my own home, it is so United will come and do testing and they might decide to put my meter on for 45 minutes for each zone. I might only want it on for 18 minutes because I think my grass is green enough. So, but you got to know to do that. You got to know to change it for.
Control that. We can,
and that's the
Yeah,
situation.
but they, in theory, United has some control over that. And this is where you get into a very gray area because if I kill the lawn, who's responsible for it? Technically I am, right?
Of course.
And if they kill it, but I'm still responsible for it. So who owns the meter and who controls it? Because originally under Down to Earth, they set all mine for like an hour or 90 minutes. My bill was like up here. And I was like, this is crazy because I get notice from Toho saying like, no water for 2 weeks. It's the dry season. It goes dormant kind of thing.
they should
So-
maintain it. That's fine.
Yeah, so they check it out, but again, then people, when their grass starts to die, they point the finger at United. So it's like, some people want to control it, some people want to own it, some don't. You guys are in a tough situation because you don't have individual meters, and no one's really looking at, when it runs or it doesn't run.
Like, when the bills come through, does anybody for a service say, well, before I pay that 1,800, let me see how it was last month? I mean, it's my money that you're very haphazard with. That's the frustration, that I'm not controlling how my money gets spent.
Understood. And maybe the process that the village subcommittee has set up is who's going to own that, right? Because like for me, again, if there's a big bill, I might have a leak. So I've either got to call Toho or I've got to go look at the timing on the meter, et cetera. So there's not really an ownership of that. We did a lot of that, yeah.
We went over this last year.
Yep.
We still got nothing.
How do we
It's
monitor
frustrating.
that they're working correctly, that it is coming on for 15 minutes?
So again, you have to understand what the schedule is, what the timing of that schedule is, when it runs. So like mine run, they start at midnight till 3 in the morning, I think, or whatever, the 5 zones. So nobody's going to be out there at that time looking to see if your sprinklers are on. Now, if you see them on at noon, you probably have an issue, right? But so that's a challenge.
I always know what
A gentleman was going through our neighborhood today in the van, stopping at everybody's house.
Doing the irrigation check?
Making sure that everything was so many minutes, so they should have probably an up-to-date if they're still in the neighborhood.
So I saw
But
him.
everybody has said it.
But it
Saw him from United, or?
No, I saw him in the back of the villa, the sprinklers in the, not my villa, but the one behind me. I saw those sprinklers going up, but not my villa or the ones in the front of me.
Richard, do you mean it was-
Looking for is just the timer, how much time it is for each time.
I see.
Did you mean it was somebody from United?
Mine didn't come on.
It's somebody from United?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to the gentleman myself.
Okay.
I asked what he was doing. He
Yeah.
just said, check
Okay.
all the timers.
Yeah.
Making sure so much time per yard.
But ours didn't even come on, so we couldn't monitor that.
He doesn't have to look at the timers and adjust the timing.
They keep saying they're on, it doesn't come on.
Yeah, definitely.
We ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on, but I'll see you tomorrow at 12. You're welcome. Okay, pickleball subcommittee and diversity. We're good? Okay.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Terry. All right, we're going to move on to our agenda. We first have our consent agenda. This is something that I added. Any item on the consent agenda can be, all of the items on the consent agenda can be approved with one motion. So it's on the consent agenda today. We have the commercial fitness preventative maintenance contract. The reason why this is on the consent agenda is because the commercial fitness is the company that we purchased all of our equipment from. And we had a PM contract with them that lapsed last year. This is just reinstating that contract. And additionally, it's the United Landscaping addendum for maintaining all of the CDD deeded over property that is now Country Club responsibility. So do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, now it is open for discussion if anybody has anything.
So just,
Andy has a question.
Yes.
Would the community be able to get a list of the CDD property that has been deeded over to the community? So
Yes. I'm currently in we just got all of the maps and the data, so I'm working on getting all of that information uploaded into Connect so it would be viewable by the community, yes. You're welcome.
also just, you can go on the Osceola County parcel access.
Yeah.
You can literally identify every parcel and see who owns it. And a lot of the ones that were just deeded over are related to the monuments. So the ones that say estate or country club, or the little strip of land that has like a gate on it. Some of the cul-de-sacs, do circle, et cetera. But before, it was sort of a mishmash of what they own, what we own, but it's all within the country club property. But if you go, it's a great little app. You can click around and you can see what properties are owned by whom. In theory now, almost everything that's within the country club is owned by the country club.
Yes.
When we get that map, we could probably put that on Connect too.
Yeah. So when we had a meeting last week with the CDD and the Master Association, so there's like different maps for all of the different entities. Like, right, there's one map that shows all of the CDD areas. And then we have the same map over here that only points out the Master Association. And then we have another map that points out Olive Country Club. So we've asked them to put all three of those maps together on one map and color code it so that we can all have it and identify. So once we do have that, that will go out to the residents as well, so they can all be informed. Do I have a?
Sorry, and just
Yes.
the pricing on that, just so the community's aware. I mean, I'm going to cover it in the
Yep.
budget as well, but
So the preventative maintenance contract with Commercial Fitness is $1,300 a year. And the addendum for the United Landscaping contract is $90,000. Yes.
This is 1,300 a year. Do we have to pay for the last year that we missed as well?
No, it's just starting from now. Yes. And then we would need to pay for any like additional, like if we had to purchase parts to repair,
Yes.
that would just be out of. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve, or sorry, let's vote. All in favor? I'm sorry?
Who's the chair of the board?
there's no chair. There's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer.
Then the vice president takes over, not anybody else.
You mean the president?
In what?
Well, the president is not there.
No, the
vice-
president's here.
President is here.
President's here.
Then the president needs to conduct this meeting, not anybody else.
According to
So that's Robert's rules of.
That's Robert's Rules of Order and not to
Yep.
be passed down to anybody else.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Andy, just to let you know, when you do go on the website of the Osceola County Property Appraiser, and like if you sell a house, sometimes it takes 6 weeks to update, so you might click it, it's listed somebody else's name. But when it processes, about 6 weeks at the max, and then it'll generate it.
Okay, folks, we are voting right now to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Thank you.
As the
Okay, we're going to move on to.
president ask that question.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
Sorry,
No,
We'll go to new business.
Society of Robert's Rules of Orders. You are in total violation in this meeting.
Okay, we'll go to new business. Stephanie, will you let us know about the accounts?
Yes, so for the new business, we have several accounts that are on the agenda to go to the next covenants hearing on November 1st. All of the accounts have received their first, second, and third notice of violation.
Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Okay, the Villa Subcommittee is requesting to be a regular committee. So, do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
We have a second? Discussion.
We can, who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Carrie.
Okay. Yep. So the committee, so subcommittee falls under a regular committee. So right now the Villa Subcommittee is a sub of the Facilities Committee. So anything that the Facilities Committee wants to do, they have to funnel through the Facilities Committee. Villa's Subcommittee has a lot going on currently, so they have requested to become their own committee, not a sub, so that they can make their own decisions. Or recommendations to the board. I will say that I have already forwarded them a draft, or not draft, I'm sorry, an example of a charter. So they are working on writing that charter. So if we do approve this today, the next thing would be to approve their charter when it is completed. I did not get it. Okay.
practically, Nancy, there's no significant difference.
Make sure you get it.
Thank
She didn't get it.
They'll be able to deal directly with the board.
So, I mean, there's a board liaison now. Mark is on the Villa subcommittee. I attend as well. But, so that wouldn't change. So it would just be, you wouldn't have to necessarily work through the facilities committee. So it'd be just a more direct line, but practically speaking, not a whole lot changes.
Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the 2024 trail fee rates discussion.
So this is the proposal that Darren just spoke about during the golf committee update.
Teresa back there.
We do need to make a motion
We need to
first.
make a motion
Yeah.
first.
A motion to approve it?
So moved.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Now, discussion.
Discussion.
Sorry. Teresa?
They gotta come back. They gotta come up. We'll never hear them. They gotta come up.
Can you,
You guys gotta come up.
Yeah.
can you come out to the table?
But yes,
David, here you go.
so yes. So Teresa, I think the question you said was, are you understanding it correctly that it's $1,750 per person in a family? So take a spouse, husband and wife, it would be $1,750 each.
Not for children, not for you, not for you,
So
not for you. It won't be for you. So children, it won't be for children that are golfing. It won't be for children.
so yeah.
We'll get it right in the car, yes, every one of us that rides in the car.
Alan, we can't hear any of
hear
it.
on the phone.
Everybody,
hear
Darren, Mike.
Can you please come forward? Because everyone online would like to hear what you're asking or stating. We need you to come, yes, but can you come up here, please, so that they can hear? You need to talk into this microphone.
I can just use my card and pay you the $50?
It's not 50, it's $29 for a cart fee. But no, you can't use your personal cart. If you're paying the cart fee, you would use one of the club carts.
So you've just priced yourself over a private club at $3,500 a year per couple.
Family over a private club, not necessarily. We've got examples of those. We've even got Kemper reports that tell us that our trail fees are underpriced from an outside third party that was hired by the board.
I don't think so.
Well, it does say that.
Can I ask a question?
Financial burden from a single to a family. So a family currently pays $2,100 and now having to pay $3,500, whereas a single is getting a reduction in their trail fee rate rather than an increase. So all you've done is move the financial burden from a single car owner to the families.
What we've done is create a situation where we stopped abuse that's currently occurring with the 6-month trail fee, some of the 6-month trail fee operations. We've also created a situation whereby we've been asked as a committee recently about additional opportunities for other options other than the 6-month seasonal and the annual. People that are working, people that want to golf on weekends. So the question became is where do we stop with the different exceptions? How many are we going to manage? We've talked with Tom, and Tom's in supportive of the single, and it treats every individual with the same fee as everybody else. So as a golf committee, we discussed that at length, and as a group, we couldn't see how that was unfair. It does change the amounts that possibly that certain families would be paying somewhat, but it treats everybody fairly. I don't see how I don't see how you can say that this isn't fair.
Darren, you've just given yourself a $500 reduction in your trail fee by doing this. You've taken a back of the envelope calculation saying, here's the revenue, let's divide it by 225 people that have trail fees, including like combined families, etc., and divided it by the revenue target, and you took $1,750. So you all got $500 off, and you're jamming families, every other category. At the end of the day, I don't know what you're going to do to change the process, but stickers were stickers on the cart fees, on the carts. So if you're trying to look for ways that people like ruin the system, it's because we didn't have a proper starter. You proposed, and it was agreed upon by the previous board members, that a 5% equitable across the board increase was what was proposed. I do not understand what's changed since then because you're revenue neutral.
I just explained what changed, is that we've identified where it's not currently being managed properly. It can't be managed properly, and we've shown that with the current staff, and so we're losing revenue. And as a result of that, in addition, we've got additional families that have brought additional ideas and requests to us since then, asking for exceptions as well. Because we have these others. So that's what has
that doesn't mean the old model didn't work. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't make bad business decisions based on controls that aren't in place. I would improve the controls and deal with the financial side later. You haven't gained anything in terms of revenue for all the disruption you're making to 150 people that are going to be paying more.
Well, the golf committee does not believe that this is a bad business decision, and that's the decision of the golf committee moving forward.
Well, that's because it helps most people on the golf.
I'm going to speak.
Hold on, we got one in the room. Up to the microphone.
Okay, well, I can speak loud. I was one of the, me and my husband recently moved here in June, and we were one of the households that was on the golf committee meeting a few weeks ago, discussing the fact that paying $27.50 for a family when I don't necessarily golf all the time, as well as we both, well, he's working full-time, I'm not quite working full-time, but working full-time, that meant you had to golf at least 9 times a month to benefit the $30 a month you're paying, or $30 a time you're paying, to use their golf cart. I still find it kind of strange that we have to pay this one-time fee, and we can't do it every time, but you guys have mentioned, I know we're getting new software, and maybe in future years that could change. But the point is that we were being punished for paying $27.50 a year when we couldn't golf 9 times a month because we're working full-time. I feel that fee was set for people that were retired, and we're not, yes, we're a golf course community, but we're not a retirement community. So I appreciate the golf committee really doing the research and looking into these different fees. And for those saying the golf committee benefits, no, we were one of these ones saying it needs to be fair to everyone. And I like the idea you came up with, that charging everyone the same fee. To me, that makes more sense. And if I decide I want to golf more, then I have to pay, my side. But I think that seems fair for now, because I felt like charging that amount for people who couldn't golf that many times wasn't fair for those of us who are still working full-time. And I know you also mentioned that there were, they said like 60% of people didn't golf in here. Well, maybe more people will golf if it comes to a cheaper per person to get out there and golf. Maybe somebody who decides they're not working anymore wants to golf now. I think that fee structure was kind of high, and I'm going to ask, was that kind of just carried from like when Lennar set it up years ago?
Well, I don't know about Lennar, I was done with the golf committee, but this is the way it's been set up for a number of years going forward.
Yeah.
So the structure really hasn't changed over a long period of time.
Well, that's just it. I mean, just because something was done one way forever doesn't mean it can't be changed. So I appreciate the discussions you had.
Nancy?
Okay, as a comment for that, for a family like that, then they're not going to pay. They're going to pay per time. You can't use your cart, you can go and rent a golf cart. It's going to cause a loss in income because of that. So you do have to factor that in.
For those people, what I golf is like nothing, but for golfers, it works. If people are golfing on a regular basis, paying for your golf cart, yes, it works. We've paid family since we've been here, only because it was easier. If I was in the cart, there was never a question.
Are you
Now,
retired?
oh, that's nothing to do
Well,
with
then,
the
yes,
golf.
it does. No, because I can't golf enough to cover that.
But I don't golf. I'm not a golfer.
Well, I would have paid it if we were retired. I
Okay.
would have paid it if we were retired, but you gotta find fairness for like.
That's how you have an option. You can go rent it.
But I want, no, I
Any-
can take my own car.
any other-
Our community.
Any other comments?
Yes, hey guys, it's Erin Grace. I just have a quick question because Darren mentioned this. And so my question is, if you, and Darren, you did say this, if there's a problem with the oversight of the golf course and starters, whatever, the operations, how are we solving that? Because that's part of the problem too. So we're talking about, fees, but we're kind of missing the other aspect of this, which is how are we going to fix the problem of managing the golf course?
It's a good question. We are working on that very closely with Tom. We put out 3 communiques recently on some procedurals and some protocols that maybe you've seen. And we're working with Tom on getting those implemented, including, which has always been part of the golf manual, checking in. People weren't doing it, and they need to do that. And you need to have a slip to get on the golf course. All these things. In part, the reason for that is to make sure that when people come in, they are, if they owe a golf cart fee, they are paying a golf cart fee. It wasn't always happening. People were coming in, one person was getting the cart, another person was sliding in the cart, and off they would go. This is what's happening. So we are putting in these protocols, and some of them, as I said, were in the golf manual, they just weren't being enforced.
So how are we, Darren, to your point, how are we going to measure that so that we don't continue to have this discussion, every 3 months at a board meeting?
We are monitoring, we are doing things right now like monitoring the tee sheet. I'm meeting with Tom every week individually, aside from just the monthly golf committee meetings. I meet with Tom. We are looking at that tee sheet daily. We're bringing up instances and going over those with Tom, and working on getting better at that, working with him in ensuring that proper directions are being given to the staff so that they can monitor the situations. And so that's what we're doing. There are things you can do by reviewing and looking at the tee sheet to see what's happening, as well as reports off of Easy Links.
Okay, no, I think that's great. And I think it should be proactive and reactive, right? So I think, a lot of what we're talking about is reactive. I definitely, and you guys are implementing new rules, which is awesome. So I do, hopefully those will work. Those controls will work.
Fees, blah, 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 blah. I just want to hear about the HOAs. I haven't gone.
Folks, if you are online, if you are not speaking, could you please mute yourself? We can hear you.
Unfortunately, what people don't realize is that golf is a big proportionate share of our revenue. So I'm sorry that it's taking so long to talk about it, but it's a big driver for us.
Yeah, my thought on this, Darren, first off, I appreciate everything you guys do. I think it's amazing. And I think the committees are really, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I think it's really important because, the committees are there for a reason. They're there to give us guidance on which way the community wants to go. That's why it's always important, we put out, go to the committee meeting, go to the committee meeting, go to the committee meeting. Well, if you don't agree with this is what happens when you don't go to those meetings. This is what happens when you go to an F&B meeting when a menu rolls out. So there's storming and foreman and Norman and performing. We were in the storming phase. A lot of stuff went on. Turnover from Lennar. We really didn't know what was going on. We went through multiple head pros, multiple management companies. That was the storming phase. Now, Darren, you guys got a really good, I like the way and everything you guys are doing with the golf committee. And I believe this vote was almost unanimous, correct? Yes. On this? And this is the foreman stage, We have to, you can't, if we make a decision and we start going the other way, it's okay to backtrack and make a different decision. We've all made mistakes in our life. Every single person sitting in this room has. And every decision this board makes going forward is not going to be correct. But you know what? The committees are there to guide us and make sure we do stay on the straight path. And if they do come up with something better, I think it's important that we listen to the committees so we can move forward. I think it's a great idea. I'm for this, just to let everybody know where I'm sitting.
Hey,
I'm
Terry?
just going to say, I appreciate it because I'm a single and I never thought the fee was fair in my favor because I didn't, the couples paid less than half of what I would pay. Singles are now paying everything the same. I like that. Thank you.
Scott,
Uh,
you tried to talk, Scott?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. A couple things I just wanted to mention. Is one thing is I've been looking at the T sheet lately, and I know one of our biggest problems are finances. So our HOAs don't go up. But I noticed the T sheet, when I look through it, it's wide open. There's hardly any tea times. Like you take a Tuesday, there's 15 tea times. That includes the ladies' tea times. And that leaves like, I think there's like 40 tea times open. But why aren't we addressing those money issues?
We are, Scott.
We are. Scott, thanks for that. That's part of the briefing. I skipped it to make it quick. We have put together a marketing plan, a multi-pronged marketing plan. We are getting control back of our website, of our Facebook, of our Instagram. We're working directly with Golf Now. We're looking at wholesalers. We're doing a lot of things that haven't been done for quite some time in getting the word out there. We have enough tee times available on just Public Play Thursday and 11 to 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, that if we sell those at just a 60% sale rate, we can generate $1.3 million in revenue. The budget only calls for $700,000. We're going to work to get that 1.3 million. That'll cover this and the pass holder fees, and then have some left over. That's our goal, and that's what we're working for in the golf committee. So we fully understand what the tee sheet looks like. We're looking at it every day. We see the openings. Of course, summer you don't get as much play as you do during the peak season, but we've got the tee times. We don't need to throw more tee times, take more tee times away from members. We've got enough tee times. We just need to sell what we have.
Okay, thanks, Darren. My other point here is I've been listening to this for the last year, is we hire a professional to run a golf shop. And a golf committee is only there to give opinions to the board to vote on. A golf committee shouldn't be running the marketing program for a golf course. We hire professionals to do that. And I just think we should let the professionals do their job and give them the tools. The golf committee should give recommendations to the board, who will then vote on it. But a golf committee is not sitting in with the golf pro every day telling him how to do his job. So I just hope that really changes too, because that's not our job as a committee. We hire professionals to do that.
Scott, to that, I'll just say this, and I know we've got, with respect to FSR, and they're in the room, we've been doing that for a year and a half, and look where it's gotten us, okay? We're in the hole financially. So that's why we've stepped up and are doing this.
One more.
Darren, can you explain about the individual cart fees? If we're going $1,700 per person all the time, what happens if two people who only own one cart want to play golf at the same time? So
It's in the first one of the communications we come up with. If that's where there's no free carts. If you're going to play concurrently but not together, then the other person has to rent a cart.
And that's what I'm getting at. So you're charging $1,700 per person, but if the second person who owns that cart wants to play golf at the same time, they have to pay an additional
$29.
Okay, not going up?
No.
Okay, so they got to pay $1,700 plus.
They don't have to pay
If they're
$1,700.
golfing at the same time. And
They don't have to pay a $1,750 trail fee.
Well,
They have the option of not paying it and just renting a cart every time they play. It's their choice as to how they want to manage it.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is though, but if two people want to play at the same time, now they have to pay an additional $30 every single time they play, on top of the $1,700. If they
No.
play
If they're not gonna play together.
If they're not, men's league, women's league, two different carts.
Or they,
If they use two different carts and play golf with one group of friends and another group of friends,
Right.
not together in the same cart, it doesn't
Let
matter.
me put it
and they both paid the
Let me put it this way.
$1,750.
And they both.
And they can ride with somebody that paid the trail fee and not pay.
If they have to ride with somebody not to pay the $30.
Right.
They have to ride with somebody that has a paid trail fee, and that person has to allow them to ride with them. It's not mandatory.
That's what I kind of get.
We can't make any trail fee owner let me ride with them.
Right.
You know, so it's their option. It's everybody's option. Just like if you and I go, you know, if we go play someplace else and we're playing in different groups, we just got to pay a cart fee. It's the same thing here. Every cart, every ride comes with a charge.
Okay, then with that same category, why is it that somebody who wants to pay the $30 but is not allowed to use their own golf cart on the course, if they don't pay a trail fee, and they just want to come out once a month, and they have a cart, and they pay their $30, why are they not allowed to use their own electricity and their own wear and tear on their own cart if they still choose to use their own cart? Why is that not?
Because all carts have to be inspected for trail fee to make sure they're valid, and we don't want to be in the habit of having to come out and inspect a cart that isn't a trail fee cart every single time somebody wants to use it and ride it.
But are carts inspected to get this sticker just for going for $200?
Yeah, you get an annual inspection.
Right. Well, what's different between that and a trail fee inspection?
Because you don't have a sticker on that cart. You didn't get a trail fee sticker, so we don't know how that cart has changed or if the cart has changed. You now have a cart on the course that doesn't have, we're not going to put an inspections for the sticker on a cart that didn't pay a trail fee. We're just,
so I don't have to
it's been that way forever. We're not going to change that.
He did pay a trail fee.
No, he said he did.
If you don't pay
He wants to use his cart without paying a trail fee.
You just want to show up once a month and play golf, but you want a cart. Don't you
Right, so
pay a
he wants
$200 licensing?
He wants to get a car and use his car, and I play maybe once a month on a scramble. just-
Rich, you're only gonna drive it to the golf.
There's no
Do
way
I-
to track.
I can't ride with him in a scramble.
Because they don't have software to track that. That's what.
You have to
I
pay your
have to
$29.
ride my own
Hey,
car.
Rich.
Yeah,
So you can drive your car through the
Folks,
pro.
guys, can we
Hold on.
keep it to one conversation?
So if I'm paying $30, why would I ride with him? I could get my own car.
Absolutely. It's your option. It's your choice.
Right, but are we like buying excessive parts for this reason, when we don't have to have all these parts to do that, when we can have this other option? I mean, I don't think it's saving money to, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not following your
Well,
question.
then you wouldn't need it, instead of taking two cars, because I'm paying $30, I'm gonna drive my own car.
Right.
It's got a trail fee. So instead of having two people, I mean, then you'll have 100 carts out there waiting to be used and buying those or renting them or whatever. You wouldn't have to gasoline.
No, but then we would force, we wouldn't have enough carts. We'd be forcing you to have to ride with them. Not that that's a bad thing, but, you know, but you see my point? I mean, if we're going to charge someone a cart fee, we have to be able to provide them with a cart. We have to have that available for them.
So Darren, how do you regulate, say Andrew has a cart fee, Donna does not, but she's going with him, how are we going to know that they haven't paid the double?
So right now, I'm going to talk about right now, I'm not going to talk about when we get to the new point of sale system, because it may change, okay? But right now, in Easy Suites, everybody is notated as a trail fee. Are you single? Are you a family? Everybody, your name, my name, everybody's name. We've got a report to know who's all paid trail fees.
Right, but what if she comes over by herself
So-
in his car, in their cart?
So that's the whole purpose of the check-in. right?
Right.
So everybody comes in and checks in, and they see that she has checking in for her round of golf, they're gonna be able to look. And that's what we put in place so that they do this. They have to have a list there. They can look and say, she is not a trail fee person. She needs to pay $29 and get a rental car.
And how are they gonna know she didn't pay it? Or that she.
Because
she might
when
pay
you,
it either.
because on the trail fee document, when you sign your trail fee document, you have to put on there who is the trail fee owner.
That's what I needed to know.
Nothing changes till January anyway. We're staying under the same thing till January.
That would be one way to ensure that you look at the car, you see good stickers. Those
Well,
are two people sitting in the car, you know you're good.
You could do that, but we can monitor that all at check-in. That's the key. It's all the check-in. And the procedures around the check-in take care of it. As long as we get proper procedures and proper protocols in at check-in, all that'll take care of itself.
Tom, do you have anything to add, being head pro?
I do, but to be honest.
You have to come up here, Tom.
Time or place, to be honest with you, for me. Guys.
Tom, you gotta come up.
Come up to the microphone.
Everybody on live can hear you.
Tom, you're the big part of this, so we need to hear from you.
Hear me? Hello. Yeah, you know, I've been in this business for 38 years. I've done a lot of projects, a lot of golf courses, a lot of communities, a lot of HOAs. Don't get defensive on me, this and there. Change has to happen. Okay? There are people abusing the system. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. In order to correct those things, we need to make some changes. We need to simplify what we're doing. We don't need 7 different fees for a golf cart, and you know, you can play on Monday, but you can play on Tuesday, and those type of things. We need to simplify it so we can track everybody. Right? We're checking everybody in. Everybody's got to get a slip. Why are we doing that? We want to know that you're out on that golf course. You take that slip over to the starter, and the starter will let you go out and play. Okay? We still have a few people that are getting adjusted to that, but the word of mouth is out about those things. That's one of the policies that's going to help with all of this type of thing. Okay? It's going to take some time. This has been going on for a while. My impression is when Lennar was here, they let you guys do whatever you wanted to do, and they covered the bill, okay, which is a deficit, okay, I can assume that, but here we are now. Okay? Everybody in this room is a part of this golf course community, so we need to work together. Okay? We're going to stub our toes. I'm going to make mistakes, okay? I want to minimize that, don't get me wrong, but in order to get better, you've got to try something. In order to, if it works, we'll get better at that. But if it doesn't work, we can adjust it in time. All right, I'm working heavily with the golf committee. I'm working heavily with the board. They have our best interest in this golf course. Okay, so that's where we're at. That's my opinion right now. I got a lot more to share, but I think I'll share it with the golf committee first and go through that correct process, and then the golf committee will take it to the board of directors and go that step. So. All right.
Darren, you mentioned kids. How does it work? If a single parent buys a single membership, the other parent doesn't.
Okay.
All kids are allowed to golf?
Right. So for kids, if they don't have a driver's license, they have to be riding with a parent anyway. They can't be driving a cart by themselves. If they have a driver's license, and they want to be able to play on their own, and as it says in the golf committee, Tom, as the head pro, can determine that this youth is understands the rules and is capable of playing, well enough on their own and all of that. They can then take the cart. And what we're proposing for those, so you're talking 16 to 21-year-olds with a driver's license, is they would pay $100 a year, and they get their own trail fee for that, and they can play as much as they want for that $100. It's our way of saying, let's grow the game. Let's help grow the game for the youth. It's $100, done. Plus, it gives them a little bit of skin in the game, so they understand and get, understand what it is to pay for something, and then, utilize it. So,
There are definitely questions online. I don't know if we want to cover those off.
No, it's more of statements.
Starting at the top.
Well, Yeah, I would start at the ones that relate to golf. That's what we're talking about right now.
Someone said, wasn't this already agreed upon by the previous board? I thought the only thing open was the member cart fee.
That is correct.
Why are we charging everything at one time?
Changing.
Oh, sorry. Why are we changing everything at one time? Why not fix the issues of playing and leave the trail fees alone this year? It's revenue neutral, so it shouldn't matter if you keep the trail fee the same this year and have Tom work to fix the issues. I think this new single charge will reduce revenue. Lots of couples with a lesser golfer will now go to a single fee and not pay the second fee. Who will police the spouse who no longer pays a fee?
That we covered. Yep.
Covered that.
That's not true. So because there are some people abusing the system, we all have to pay for everybody.
So, well, one thing just one comment I've heard from a few people that, because in the original it was going up 5% across the board, and there were some trail fee members that were on the borderline that says if it goes up at all, they're just going to start paying for carts. So the other thing is no matter what, if you don't have a trail fee, you're going to pay 29 plus. So I mean, we're going to get the money down there anyway, one way or another. So usually if you get a trail fee, you're playing a lot of golf, and you don't have to worry about that, but it's also convenience to have your own cart. So Darren, I guess my question is, how many people will this affect as far as on the couple side?
There are.
That would be 150, Mark. 140, sorry, my math was wrong.
Did you ask Marilyn or me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure. There are 58 families currently. There are 7 that are annuals. So you double all of these, do the math, right? 17 families that are half year. So that's how it works. And Mark, to your point, if it was, as you said, if there are people who drop out, the only way that the golf course revenue is hurt is if the number of rounds of play go down as well. If people don't play any less rounds and they only buy one trail fee, then they're going to pay the cart fee. And we get that. 60 rounds a year covers a cart fee. If you're going to play 60 or more and you're not going to get a trail fee, you're going to cover that $1,750 and then some by 60 rounds a year. So it's going to come in either via trail fee or via cart fee.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Just to be clear, so what are the categories we're eliminating? We're eliminating family full year, family half year, single half year?
Well, you're limiting single half year, family half year, family second and third carts, and family annuals. And in addition, we're not creating additional new categories that people have brought to us, like the working families, in addition to that. So that's what we're doing.
Are we ready to vote?
We vote?
Okay.
All in favor? Opposed? 3-1, motion passes.
Just a quick question. When you guys define the family, is that will impact this?
No, because they're all singles.
Okay, so there won't be an impact to the golf fee at all by defining memberships and families.
No, this is just concerning the trail fee. The membership family stays as is, and I think we discussed that earlier in the meeting.
Okay, no, just a quick question, Mark. I'm sorry, because I don't know the answer. So if you had a couple, so the 16 to 21, they pay $100. Is that right? Is that what you guys said?
Yes, as soon as they have a driver's license.
Yes.
Okay, and then only 2 people from a household then beyond that can pay, and they both have to pay $17.50. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, thank you.
Okay.
They don't both have to pay, they have a choice.
They have a choice.
I
Okay.
think Aaron's question is
I didn't say, Darren,
maximum.
I didn't mean they both have to pay. I'm just saying that the members then there could be 2 members that could pay $17.50 each.
Sure.
Okay, thank you for
Yeah, Aaron, as long as they're not blood related as per the declaration.
Right.
Right, so father, daughter owning a house do not get 2 trail fee memberships. One would have to buy a trail fee, one would have to buy a pass holder if they wanted to play, or
Okay.
whatever they're.
Sorry. Yeah, Alan, I'm sorry. You will understand where I was coming from. I just wanted to make sure that when you guys redefine what that family definition is, it won't impact what you guys are passing tonight.
Correct, right.
Okay.
There's not going to be a change to the declaration. There'll be like an annual pass holder program likely for the plaza.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and go with the budget town hall.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time,
We need to take a
5-minute break.
we'll take 5 minutes.
We are going to take a break, folks. We're also going to stop recording the meeting so that we can record the town hall as a separate meeting. So please just take, no. So just please take 5 minutes while we reset for the town hall.
What I'll do, I can turn the meeting over to you, right?
This conference will now be recorded.